Hey guys, welcome back to another video of mine. I actually thought of something that I thought would be really interesting. Let me know if you agree. I can make it a whole entire playlist. I want to do a people I admire bit. I thought I'd start this series actually with someone who I've admired for many, many years. And the reason I thought I'd bring it up now is because the stage musical, the theatre show, is actually playing in Melbourne right now, and Tina Arena is playing Evita. So that's actually someone whom I have admired for a very, very long time. Eva Duarte was originally her name. So I thought I'd first explain a little bit about Eva Peron, and then explain what it is about her specifically that I admire. So it's a bit of a bio, bit of a why I admire her bit. She came from a poor family. Her father, Juan Duarte, actually had a wife and children, but then he left them and he found Juana Ibarguren, and then with her he had a de facto relationship and had a bunch more of kids. So there's actually two sets of Duarte children. I actually don't know what happened to the first set. You always know what happened to Eva Peron's immediate family. Her three sisters, only one of them ended up having kids. I don't really know what happened to the brother. But then the whole first set, the whole half siblings, I actually don't know what happened to them. I've scoured the internet to find out about her older half siblings, and I can't find any information on them. But if anyone knows what happened to that part of the family, that would be really interesting, because it would mean that there is more Duarte family members and more family members of Eva's who are alive, because today all that there is left is one sister's kids, because none of the others had kids. But the older half siblings, I'm sure some of them had kids, and that second generation or third generation is alive today. So eventually Juan Duarte left his de facto partner Juana Ibarguren and returned to his first wife, and all he left them with was the surname. Like, the family is illegitimate, the kids are all bastards. So this, during a time in the 1920s, is not really a recipe for success. It's stigmatized, it's a Catholic country. It doesn't look good. There's no prospects for a family like that. The mother has a reputation of being a whore. In the movie, you see that one woman is calling the other woman una ramera, which means, you know, you're a slut. You're a slut. And so she was the baby of the family and had to really deal with this adversity and try to battle her way through reputation and status, and somehow still made it to what she made it. It's an incredible story. Eva had a huge dream. From abject poverty, she wanted to make it to the bright lights of Buenos Aires, which at the time was like I suppose the Hollywood or the Paris of South America. So she wanted to get there to the Big Apple and see if she could make anything of herself, and she did. She started modeling, got a bit of money. She was a radio actress and quite successful, and eventually made it into commercials and films. And no, she wasn't a particularly good actress, but that's not really the point. She got there in a country where the poor are not really cultivated and helped. It's an incredible story. It is often implied actually that the way she got there was through sexual dalliances, that she slept her way to the top. I don't know how factual that is. You can only go by biographical accounts, and obviously the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical does also insinuate this. It could very well be possible. That's not something I admire, in fact, in her. I don't think a series of lovers is a really good way to live your life, but the point is, she met through a series of circumstances. There was an earthquake that hit the town of San Juan. And then Juan Peron, who was becoming well known politically and people were becoming aware of who he was, organised a fundraiser at Luna Park, because Melbourne, Australia and Sydney, Australia are not the only countries with the Luna Park. So I think that's quite funny that they met at Luna Park. And that's where really the fireworks started to fly, and Evita and Juan Peron married a year later, and she became a powerhouse. She was incredible, and he admired her, and the marriage was incredible. He actually had a first wife as well, and she passed away. So then he met Eva. So eventually Juan Peron in 1946 wins the presidency, and this becomes a golden ticket for Evita Peron to manifest her mission in life, which was to help the poor. and at the time they were known as los descamisados. Los descamisados means the shirtless ones. And what I like about this story is that what motivated her was the treatment that she had when she was quite young. She was treated treated like an outcast due to her family background. She hated the rich. She did not, I mean, she clearly was generalizing them, but she didn't feel good about them. So Eva Peron started the Evita Peron Foundation, or the Eva Peron Foundation. La Fundación de Eva Peron, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. And in so doing, people would line up, and she would sit down at her office, say from 9 AM to 5 PM every day, with individuals coming to her saying, I want a brand new bike, I want this, I want that. And she would give it to them. She would give them all these checks. The problem I have here is, now that I'm a little bit more politically aware, is that while at the time when I was young I'm like, oh, what a great woman, she's so kind. The reason that I now look at that and go, maybe that wasn't a good idea, because you don't do anyone any favors by just giving. Give. Then there's no motivation to work for what you get. She worked her way into the lifestyle and the status that she acquired. She ended up being a little bastard child to the highest position in the country. That's insane if you think about it. And then she spent the rest of her life, or the rest of her time, giving people water and making sure that certain areas had water. That's all very good. I don't negate that or take that away from her, but I have a problem with socialism, and I think the Peronist, La Peronista, I think that whole entire political party was very much aligned with a level of socialism. Peron himself was known as an admirer of Mussolini, so that's a video for another time though. But this video is specifically about Eva Peron, and she was also a champion for advancing women's rights. She was a feminist. And you might think, well, why are you saying it so casually? Because feminism is a fantastic thing in the 1900s. It was absolutely needed. It's not needed today. At least not in the Western world. I'm happy to be a feminist in the Middle East. That's a side topic again. And she advanced women's rights. She was the Minister of Health, the Minister of Labour, and under these political titles she was able to give the women the vote. It's a fantastic story. Women then became more valued. Like, how is it possible that one woman, one voice managed to do so much in 33 years? It's an amazing story. And then unfortunately she came down with cancer. She didn't come down with cancer, she got cancer. And that's a really sad story, because I think of her husband as well. His first wife passed away from cancer. Then his second wife passes away from cancer. It's just a horrible, horrible, tragic turn of events to happen twice to the same man, to have to deal with it. But Eva Peron was ever the faithful wife. She expressed nothing but loyalty and patriotism for Argentina and her husband. And she voted. She made sure to vote even though she was bedridden. She could hardly stand, but they put this fur coat around her and helped her posture because she was withering away. But she made sure that she was by her husband's side, and I love that about the woman. She died on the 26th of July in 1952, and her legacy has never been forgotten. And I think the fact that that very story ended up becoming a musical is a great testament to the way that whole entire Cinderella story can inspire. It's just a fantastic story. So now to talk about specifically what it is about her that I admire. I connect with the story on many levels. My mother is Colombian. I've been to South America. I've been to Argentina. I've witnessed poverty, real poverty. I've seen it. So to come from that and to rise and to become someone who has the access and the ability to help a nation is ridiculous. Like, there must have been so much gratitude within herself that she had managed to accomplish these great things. I admire it because I see it. My mother came from a small country town in Colombia, and it was a family of 7 children where at times there was no food. My grandfather had to raise them all on his own, and it's like a mirror. And so to be able to connect with Eva was I loved going to Argentina. I loved seeing the Eva Peron Museum. I went to her to the funeral, what do you call it? The cemetery. I went to the cemetery plot as well, and yeah, I just think it's a very good story. So this particular People I Admire is about Eva Peron and all the fantastic things she did and accomplished in her short life. And yeah, I don't know when I'll make another one of these videos, but I already have someone in mind for the next one. And I hope you guys like this. I know it's a little bit different for me, but I just thought of it all of a sudden, and I thought, I love Eva Peron. I actually have her book, her biography. It says Eva Peron, La razón de mi vida. Eva Peron, la razón de mi vida, which means Eva Peron, the reason for my life. And she is one in a long list of people whom I admire. Okay guys, let me know if you like this particular kind of video. I might, I'm happy to do socio-political commentary, and that's where my main passion lies, but I also love these sort of biography type things, and it may surprise people to know that I admire a woman. Anyway. Remember to click the bell so you get all my notifications, give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I really don't care, and comment below, and stay tuned for another video or live stream. Catch ya.